Hello and welcome to this part of the pond, where it's the bullfrog still without the newt. If he was here, he'll be behind that camera saying face reveal at 100,000 subscribers. So please, like, share, and subscribe. And while you're there, chat in the comments, because this video is really meant for the comment section this time. On the release of this video, it'll be around Father's Day. And here in the pond, we would like to celebrate Father's Day, but in our own unique way, because we're a little unique out there for reasons. And we're going to talk about the vacuum that is in America right now. Because America doesn't have a cultural father figure right now. How did this happen? He happened. From the late 70s all the way up to his arrest, this man was considered America's dad. He held that title.
But if you had told me 30 years ago that I would be this boring, stay-at-home, house dad, and Bill Cosby would be in jail, even I would have took that bet.
He was doing it and getting away with it, not just year after year, but decade after decade.
Yeah.
Probably America's worst serial ever.
And since then, no actor or company or field house for that matter, or anyone, tried to fill this. For a few years now, America has had this vacuum of the cultural father figure. And here in the pond, we're going to say, you know what, we need to fill this void. But we're not saying this is how we're going to fill it. No, we're going to show our candidate to fill the role of America's father figure. And we're going to back James Avery's role as Uncle Phil from the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Do you know how humiliating it is to have a son who can't swim?
A 90s classic. Why Uncle Phil? Well, it's because his relationship with Will Smith, the character, not the actor, is far more unique. And we feel like it fits too perfectly because the big story across the show is Phil and Will's relationship and how Phil has to earn that fatherhood figure. Yes, Uncle Phil can teach Will, but Will, does he listen or not? And can Will accept it? Drives this point home constantly, even to the last episode. But we're not going to go through the entire show or moments. We are just going after the biggest episode for Father's Day, and that is when Will's dad comes home. All of us like to point out to the big famous scene, but I feel like we need to go to what happened before that, with Will's father coming back, and Will is hungry for this bond that he's like a little kid at a candy store with his dad. And after they went to this park, Uncle Phil wants to talk, and Phil says, I think, a very interesting line.
Me, but this is a family discussion.
Hey, Uncle Phil.
Of course, that leads to this confrontation between Will and Phil.
But if I can forgive him, how come you can't?
Because he's not doing this for you, he's doing this for himself. And if you think any differently, then you're a fool.
Ain't even nothing to talk about. I've been waiting for this for a long time, my whole life, and ain't nobody gonna stop me. Come tomorrow, I'm out of here.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so.
Who cares what you think? You are not my father!
I like that scene, to see the character Uncle Phil take that too personal. And you can see that this is a man who wants to be the father figure for Will. And he wants to save Will and have not Will be fall from either the pain of what his father's going to bring, or worse, that Will fall back to his old tendencies, and everything that's being built up could be destroyed. Phil sees this bigger threat, And of course, this leads to the iconic scene.
Actually, this works out better for me. You know, the slimmies of summer come to class wearing next to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's all right to be angry.
Hey, why should I be mad? I'm saying, at least he said goodbye this time. I just wish I hadn't wasted my money buying this stupid present.
I'm sorry. If there was something that I
Hey,
could
you know
do.
what? You ain't got to do nothing, Uncle Phil. Hey, ain't like I'm still 5 years old, you know? Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's Daddy coming home, you know? Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned. Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I, Uncle Phil?
You did.
Got through my first day without him, right? I learned how to drive. I learned how to shave. I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. To hell with him! I ain't need him then, and I don't need him now.
Will.
Now, you know what, Uncle Phil? I'm gonna get through college without him. I'm gonna get a great job without him. I'm gonna marry me a beautiful honey, and I'm gonna have me a whole bunch of kids. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that, because ain't a damn thing he could ever teach me about how to love my kids. How come he don't want me, man?
This scene, this is Will Smith at his best acting, and James Avery at his best acting. As powerful as this moment is, there's this interaction that Uncle Phil does to Will. Look at that. Why am I focusing so hard on that hat? The reason why is Phil hasn't had his father for 14 years. Will has hungered for his dad for this long. I mean, again, here's this scene that happened before.
But if I can forgive him, how come you can't? Ain't even nothing to talk about. I've been waiting for this for a long time, my whole life, and ain't nobody gonna stop me. Come tomorrow, I'm out of here. Who cares what you think? You are not my father!
What Will hasn't had was this father's love, this physical form of a father's love. And that hat is Uncle Phil showing Will, the character, what it means to have a father's love. Look, I am not a father, but I am an uncle of 19 nieces and nephews. I have held a ton of them when they were infants. And one of the most important things you need to know how to hold a baby is the head. You got to keep it up. And that spot, you can feel an infant being very vulnerable. But when it comes to affection, when it comes to showing love and intimidation, you always want to hold a person at the back of their head. People like to do this to intimidate, but it's also there. To a parent to a child. From a father to a son. From a father to a daughter. From a mother to a son and daughter. That touch and that spot communicates a whole lot more. And Uncle Phil taking that hat off and letting Will know that he is trying his best to show Will what he's always wanted. That he is wanted. And the episode is the best. And I love the fact that in this episode, there is no audience reaction to that scene, to the famous scene and the scene before. Silence. It just lets the actors act. It lets the writer's words speak out. And it lets everyone show off their best performance.
14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. To hell with him!
I know many will point out that James Avery is no more, and to that I say that's probably one of the most safest things about him. With the way how the culture is right now and how everyone is attacking and knives out, this is a man that has a level of protection. If you agree, put it down. If you disagree, well, who do you want to back up? We would like to know. This is a vacuum that needs to be filled. We are open to everyone. And if you're not of this nation, even more so. Because I would like to know, who are your cultural father figures outside? Do you have any? And what would your analysis be for America in this section? Go to the comments. We would really like to know. This is the Bullfrog Alone signing out.
I just didn't want your last memory of me to be no better than the first one.
You have no idea what my first memory of you is. I remember a kid loaded with all the potential in the world. Now I see a person on the verge of realizing that potential. Come on, let's go get you an apartment. You are my son, Will. End of story. You just better be sure that your butt is by a phone on Sunday.
You got it, man.